Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Mary Ann and it is early here in the morning here in New Jersey, and it is another cool morning, but today it will be 92 degrees. So every day I always check the garden early in the morning and then late in the afternoon or early evening. So I decided this morning to invite you to come with me as I check the garden. So let's go. And if you are new to our channel, welcome. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you for subscribing and following us. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done yet. Thank you, and please don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you will not miss any video from us. Let's go. So here I am in the garden. Every morning I have to check the plants and bugs, and make sure they're doing fine and growing well. So let's start here on top of the garden. And I like walking here in the garden. I feel relaxed and happy here in the garden. In this bed here, I have some carrots. I have some carrots there, and so far they're doing good. And I have some lettuce here. These lettuce are close to finished. They start to get bitter because of the summer heat. And this one, I have some here. This lettuce, the variety of this is all year round lettuce. And I have beans here. These are bush beans, and the variety is contender. And I check these beans every day, couple of days, couple of times a day, because I notice there's something wrong with these beans. Like this leaf here. I'm not sure if that's bugs or some kind of disease, but they're blooming. And in this plant here, there is already small beans in there. This one is tiny beans in there. And I sprayed all my plants here in the garden with hydrogen peroxide a couple of days ago, because I've learned it from another gardener in YouTube that hydrogen peroxide can kill any fungus that's if there is in the plant. So I did that because I'm thinking maybe this is fungus, because look at the leaves. See the leaves? And I'm thinking also maybe bugs, because look at these leaves here. Part of the leaves is missing, so maybe bugs also. So I sprayed this something for bugs during I sprayed it early evening so that they're not exposed to extreme heat. And here's another one here. Part of the leaf is missing. So this row here are beans, bush beans. This row. And in this row here, in this bed, this is another bed. I have here cucumbers, but look at the cucumbers. The leaves are not looking healthy. I also sprayed this with hydrogen peroxide just in case there's a fungus in there, or some kind of disease in the plants. So I'm not sure. This one also. Look at the edges of the leaf. Look. And there's another leaf here. It's like brown So let's see, I'm going to observe these plants. It if it gets worse, I'm just going to pull the plants and redo it. So sow more seeds. Let's see if, because I would like to have cucumbers here this summer. And in this bed, we used to have all this bed here during early spring, kale. We were able to harvest a lot of kale here, but I noticed there was something wrong in the plant, so I decided to pull all of them, because I don't want that if there is a fungus, some kind of bacteria in there in the plants, I don't want it to spread all over here in the garden. And this here, I have a couple of kale plants here under this netting. I use this to keep the bugs away from my kale, because I don't spray the kale with any chemicals, because I don't want to eat those pesticides or whatever is that, pesticides and other sides. So I have here a couple of plants here. This is lacinato kale, and I noticed this kale is healthy compared to the one that I pulled where the leaves were not looking very well. I think the variety of the kale that I pulled out is scarlet, and the other one is some kind of curl blue vase or something like that. It's a dwarf kind of kale. So I'm going to cover this back because I don't want those moth fly over here. Those white moth, they love to lay their eggs here at the back of the leaves of the kale. And then those eggs, oh, there's another beetle here. I'm going to kill this beetle. I've been killing beetles here in the morning. What was that? Oh, flew away. There we go. That's one there. Because this is going to eat the leaves of my plants. Did I kill it? I'll make sure I killed it. Okay. I did. Sore beetle. And in this bed here, it's quite bad here. These are my tomato plants here that we bought these from. I did not start this from seeds. Sorry. I was lazy this year. So we bought these plants from a local nursery. I just have only 5 plants here of tomatoes. And the first one here, this is a sunsugar tomato plant. And if you notice, my tomato plant has no suckers. I remove all the suckers. I just want to grow my tomato plants if I can, just one stem, no suckers. In this way, it's easy for me to manage the plant, and also, in my opinion, the plants is much healthier and the fruits will be a little bit bigger, I think. And I also want to avoid, mildew or any kind of fungus or spots or any diseases in the plants. If they're so crowded, not enough airflow, and that's when disease comes in, if they don't get enough airflow. So that's my sunsugar tomato plant, and there are already tiny tomatoes in there. Some are hiding. I don't want to touch the plant because it's wet. Early in the morning it has dew. Look, that's tiny tomatoes. There are several in there. And this one here, this is banana legs. I noticed the leaves of this plant is curling. I've been checking for bugs, and I saw several, not a lot of them, aphids. So I come over here every morning and late in the afternoon to kill those aphids because I don't want them to get many in my plants. So that's banana legs. There are already some banana, some tomatoes in there. See, I don't know why they call this banana legs, but that's a name. This is yellow. It's like like a big plum tomato. The color is yellow. And here's the third plant I have here. Champion, some kind of champion. Champion to VFNT. All these tomatoes are hybrid. I decided to get hybrid. Maybe it's more disease resistant. So that's why I choose hybrid. And they have already tomatoes in there. Yep. And I have this post. And I have a string where I just wrap around the plants as the plant going up. So that's my champion to tomato plant. And this one here is, I can't remember. I think this is sugary hybrid tomato plant. And I noticed this plant is also curling. The leaves are curling. Just make sure that there are no bugs at the back of the leaves, and make sure that the leaves are healthy, no spots and nothing you can do with this curling. I think the plants will just recover itself as long as the leaves are healthy. I mean, no spots, like it can be leaf spots or blight, but I think the leaves are healthy except it is curling. So hopefully these plants will just recover. And then my last tomato plant is sun gold. Everybody's talking about sun gold, that they said it is very sweet. So I have here sun gold. And it has already lots of blooms in there. And again, I only have my tomato one stem. Oh, I see one sucker here. This is a sucker. I'm going to remove that later. And as you notice, I have this hose. This is my dripping hose. This is how I water the plants here. Here, I have here cucumbers. And then I pulled it because it doesn't look very healthy. Seems like something wrong with the plants. So I pulled the plants and then I sow more seeds in there. They're not yet out. This one here, cucumber plants, they're small because, again, I just sowed the seeds a couple of days ago. And here's more here, cucumbers, and there's cucumber plants there too. These plants ought to be much bigger. And this one here, I have my dill plants. All these dill plants are volunteers. I plant dill several years ago, and then every year they just come out here in the garden in this area here. So they're all volunteers and looking good. I like dill. They're very good in salads, in egg omelette, and also in my cucumber plants. I'm going to let these plants climb in this wire here. Before I used to just let the cucumber plants crawl in the ground, but it's difficult to harvest the fruits if they are all over in the ground. So in this way, if I let these plants climb here in this wire, it's so much easier to harvest, and I think it's also much healthier for the plants because they get a good airflow. Here, That's my Swiss chards. And I plant more Swiss chards. They are still tiny. These are rainbow Swiss chards. So I'm excited to see several color of Swiss chards here. They are new. And this one here, these are melons. Melons, watermelons. It can be honeydew. I'm not sure what kind of honeydew because I sowed the seeds. Orange honeydew and green honeydew. So I'm not sure which one is green or orange. And I have more Swiss chards. That one, more Swiss chards. These are Swiss chards. We use this in our egg omelette. And in this area here, more Swiss chards. And I have watermelon plants here. This plant is still small. Well, these are late because of the bugs. I have to plant again. And this one here, these are beets. I noticed there is already big beets in there. That one there. I think I'm going to harvest this tomorrow. And then here, these are more watermelon plants. This can be either tender sweet orange watermelon or what's the other one that I did? Jubilee. Here we go. It can be Jubilee watermelons. I will know it once the watermelon will be big enough. I mean the fruit, because I'll be able to tell the color and shape of the watermelon. This one here, I have only two herbs here. I got this from Tractor Supply. $4 each. Expensive. It's expensive. And this is sweet basil and this one is cilantro. So I have two lonely herbs here in this side. And that's it in that bed. And in a week or two, this bed will be covered with plants because that watermelon and the melon down there, they will crawl all over in this area here. And in this bed here, I have these two sunflower volunteers. They are velvet sunflowers and they're looking very healthy. The stem are really big, especially this one here. This stem here is very big. And in this bed, we have here, in this bed here, I'm going to show it to you. This one, all over here. These are all watermelon. That truck is noisy. Sorry about that. And this watermelon, I think these are crimson sweet watermelon. So I have here how many plants? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost 15, I think. 15 plants. Again, I have this dripping hose to water the plants so that the leaves of the plants won't get wet every time you water. In that way, you avoid any diseases of the plants, because the plants doesn't get wet if you just use this hose, because the watering will go directly into the roots of the plants, at the base of the plant, because the mildew and fungus likes to thrive in a wet, moist environment. So if the leaves of the plant is always wet, there's a big tendency that your plants will get disease. This is another melon, Hale's Best melon, that I just planted here because originally I did plant watermelon here, and then I think the birds pulled the seedlings. So I replaced it with Hale's Best melon. So these are watermelon here. I think I have 15 plants here. So far they're looking very healthy, the watermelon. Look at that. So right now this space is still like empty. But once this watermelon will bush out, what to call that? Crawl here in this area. This will be covered with leaves of this watermelon. Here's another watermelon. That's only one plant. And this one here is two plants in this area here. And in this spot here, I have here Oregon Giant Pea. Oregon Giant Pea Snow. Here we go. And it's our first time to plant this kind of peas. And yesterday we had our first snap pea, and they were so sweet. The one that I had yesterday was sweet. And there's a lot of tiny pods in there like that one. They're so small, so I will wait for another day or two, because we are just eating these peas as snap peas, not shelling peas. And I plant these peas late, like second week of May, and now it's July 2nd today. And I have already, there's another one here, this one here. And I thought, I plant this too late because peas doesn't like the heat of the sun in the summer. But they are producing and lots of blooms, so I'm so happy with it. And also in this area here where I plant these peas, they get shaded in the afternoon sun because of this tree here. This is dogwood tree. So they get some shade in the afternoon away from the direct sun. And in this bed, that's it. That's what you can see, everyone. And I have more to show in this bed. At the side here of the watermelon, I have some pepper plants. They're bell pepper, sweet bell pepper. I started this from seeds, and it's still small because I decided to plant this late already. This is from seeds. This variety is big red, as well as that one, big red sweet bell pepper. And also I started this from seeds, and a lot of blooms there in the middle, a lot. So I'm very happy with the result of this. And the stem is so big. I noticed the stem is so big, bigger than the one that we bought from the nursery down there. So if I decided to plant the seeds earlier, these plants would be much bigger by now. But I think I started this somewhere in May from seeds, and it takes quite a while for pepper seeds to to become bigger. I mean the plant. It takes for a while for pepper seeds to become mature enough. I think it's 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. I'm not sure if you start the seeds indoor. And this one here, this pepper here, I'm so excited with this pepper. Yummy orange. This is a snacking pepper. Snacking, or some people they call it lunchbox peppers, because you can eat the fruit right from the plant. You take it out from the plant and eat it right away. They said it is sweet, so I'm excited to try this year because it's our first time to plant lunchbox peppers. We got this from the local nursery, and this pepper plants has a lot of blooms in there. I maybe 2 weeks ago, I removed the blooms, all the blooms of this plant, because I found out somewhere on YouTube that if your pepper plants are blooming and the plants still small, it's not yet well established, your plants will remain small and you will not get a lot of fruits. So I decided to remove all the blooms, and I noticed the plant really bush out. Lots of branches comes out after I remove all the blooms, and the plant, I noticed, is so much bigger now, and there's a lot of blooms in there, so I'm excited. And this one is tiny. I don't know what's wrong with this plant, but it has some blooms in there. This is chocolate beauty hybrid pepper, and the plant is small. I also removed all the blooms of this plant 2 weeks ago because it was blooming and the plant is still very small. It seems like it grows a little bit, but still small. And this one here, this is red lunchbox pepper, and this plant is really branching out after I remove all the blooms. The truck again is noisy. So the plant now is so much bigger than 2 weeks ago, and it has a lot of blooms, and I think it has a tiny pepper plant at the bottom. Yeah, there, this one here. So I'm excited for this. This is another lunchbox pepper where you just eat right from the plant. And this one here is another pepper which is mild. I think this is mild hot pepper. The variety is Winks yellow pepper. So from the start, the color of the peppers are like light green, and then it turned into this yellow color, and after the yellow color, this will turn into red, which is the final color and ready for picking once it is red. And this pepper, I didn't think that this pepper are big like this. I thought they were like Tabasco, tiny peppers, but no, they're big. So that's another surprise, our first time to plant this. My husband likes hot pepper in his egg omelette, so we have one plant. I think this is it. Hi everyone, I think this is it for this morning. The sun is starting to hit me. And this is our garden. I did already this area here yesterday or 2 days ago, so I'm not going to include that because I did that already. So this is our morning walk. I killed one beetle so far. Yesterday I killed like 4 of them. They were hopping on the sunflower plants. So this is our garden, everyone. It's not perfect. It has some bug issues. Lots of bugs. That's why it is nature. Lots of bugs. And happy gardening, everyone. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done yet, and take care everyone, and God bless. Bye.